So here we are with a Gratz baby armchair. There's very little maintenance required for a baby armchair, which is quite nice. Anybody familiar with the baby chair knows that the back moves back and forth relative to the base. So whenever we're working with the baby armchair, we want to just check some of the attachment bolts. They're attaching the wood to the back. They're almost always tight. I've never seen one that's been loose because they tighten them and make the equipment quite nicely and very well assembled. These pieces of wood here move back and forth. They're going to. They have to in order for the chair to move. So the fact that they move in and out is totally acceptable, and they should. The thing that I want to talk about here with this chair is the springs and how they should be stored. So these springs are very light. They're actually the lightest springs in the Gratz spring arsenal. And so you can see that they're very small in diameter. The wire that's used to make the spring is quite thin. And if I pull on it, you'll see that it separates quite easily. So when you're storing these, if you store them just hanging down like this, the handle is actually quite heavy, and over time that will cause fatigue in the spring and will cause them to go bad and weaken even without ever using them. So I recommend supporting the spring by putting the handles on these back pegs, if you will, and put the handles so that they're facing in so that you can keep the spring straight. Just like this. So there's no kinks or bends in the spring, or very little bend in the spring. And that way they'll stay better longer. The only other thing you want to make sure when you're looking at the chair is where the spring attaches to the chair. And you'll see there's an eye bolt here. And you just want to make sure that this quick link is tight. And they tighten them very well from the factory, so these very rarely come loose either. And so once we put these handles back up on the chair, just like so, that's it for the chair.